Hi friends, this is Suzy, your gaming guru. It is September 12th, 2022, and I'm here to talk about something I've been avoiding for months now, and that is the new policy about receiving lives from friends in Candy Crush. I've been avoiding it because it makes me grumpy, and I know it makes a lot of other people grumpy, so let's just get on with this. I'm going to show you what my experience is. Now realize that King gives different things to different people at different times, so your experience may not be exactly the same, but most people are experiencing this to some degree or another. Then I wanted to take a look at what King says about this. My hopes are not high. And then I want to talk about some potential workarounds, although I don't think there's an elegant solution to this problem. So let's jump in. I was playing 6312, and all of a sudden it said that I couldn't accept any more lives today. So I've got one life here now. Every 30 minutes I acquire a new life until I get to 5. I know some folks have a maximum of 6. There are differences. Some people it takes 20 minutes, whatever. So that's my experience. If I wait, I will get 5 more lives, but it takes 2.5 hours approximately to build back up. So normally what I would do is I would go to my envelope and I would get lives from my friends because I have a lot of awesome Facebook friends and they send me lives regularly and I'm so appreciative, and I have 848. But it says I can only store 200, even though I have 848. I don't understand the math here. These are the people who are asking me to send them lives. And you'll see that I regularly say uncheck, or I usually say check all and accept so that I can send out lives. But for me personally, it says more lives tomorrow. You have reached the max number of lives you can accept for today. And that is indicated by this number here. I've used 20 out of the 20 lives that my friends have sent me. So I don't get the chance to accept any more of those stored lives. I was just double checking to see if any of these 3 were people who needed things. I really do try to send those as often as I can. So that's what I'm experiencing. What I wanted to find out is from King what their information is. And they did submit this a while ago. Again, just too grumpy to talk about it. Crazy Cat Lad wrote something on July 18th and he edited it September 8th. Now I did see kind of glimmers of this happening on my own screen. It gave me a limit, but it never enforced that limit. I saw out of 50, I think, and then out of 30, but it never stopped giving me things. It would be that opposite-ended ratio that we saw here. I was, using 90 lives out of 20 or 90 lives out of 30, whatever it was. So I saw it, but it didn't limit me until yesterday. And so let's see what Crazy Cat Lad has to say. He says, what are the numbers and stats in your lives inbox referring to? Does the lives sent from friends have a new limit? What does this all mean? Exactly, that's what I'd like to know. Candy Crush Saga now has a new capacity limit of lives in the game. You can easily check how many requests, lives, and how many lives you can claim by going to your inbox and lives tab in the game. So this is a screenshot, and this has the same upside down ratio here. And this one says a maximum of 5. I guess I'm glad I don't have only 5 lives to use in a day. It says the number to the left, the broken heart, shows how many life requests from friends you have waiting. The envelope in the middle shows how many lives you have in your inbox and up to how many lives you can have stored. 137 out of 50. To the right, you can check how many lives per day you can claim from your inbox. This limit will automatically reset at midnight. So I have to wait until midnight before I get an extra 20 of my 800-some lives. I know a lot of you are in a similar situation, and probably a lot worse. You might not have as many Facebook friends playing Candy Crush. And so, you might have struggled. Maybe you were only getting, 20 lives a day, and then you decided to expand and ask more people to join, and you finally got that done, and you're starting to get, 50 lives, 100 lives, and now you're boom, right back down. So I can understand. It's very frustrating. All right, it says, we understand that this may be a big and sudden change in the game. You think? That might affect the way you play Candy Crush Saga. Well, of course. I mean, okay, so let's say it takes me an average of 3 minutes to use a life. And I've only got 5 lives, and I've used up all of my requested lives for the day, my exchanged lives for the day. So it's going to take me about 15 minutes to use up my lives. I might have 30 minutes of free Color Bomb, and that's going to go to waste because I'll have no lives to be able to play. Frustrating. Okay, it says, this update on lives was done to encourage you to use the lives feature the way it's meant to be used. Huh? Which is exchanging lives with others on a daily basis rather than accumulating them. Okay, that makes absolutely no sense. That makes no sense whatsoever. Because it's still allowing us to accumulate lives even more than what our limit is. It's just not allowing us to use those lives we've accumulated. If this were really their intention, oh wait, this part. If this were really their intention, then I can immediately see a different way to handle it. I'm not saying I would do this or I would prefer it, but I actually kind of think I might. They would have no limit on the lives that we could use in a day, because that's not what they're saying is the problem. It's not how many lives we use, it's how many we accumulate. So if they're going to do that, maybe they say, I can only have 200, and they're going to take away 648 from me. And if I get down below 200, then I can ask friends for more lives, right? So, yeah, I'm not trusting what's being told to us here. Not surprising, though. It says, if you have any thoughts or questions, please let us know by commenting on the thread here. Okay, this is even more ridiculous in my opinion. We are monitoring and reading all your comments to continue making adjustments and improvements. Nope, don't believe you. Your feedback is highly appreciated as we strive to make Candy Crush the best game it can be for our players. This is important for the overall health of our players and of the game. I don't even understand. Are we really supposed to believe that they're doing this for our health? Okay. All right, now I was also suspicious about these other comments, and the reason is, of course, we've had issues before with King when they took out the restart feature. They started a thread, explained that they were removing it, that it was a glitch. It wasn't even ever supposed to have happened that way, which was totally wrong because it was always presented, the restart was always presented as a feature of the game and a benefit. When they got rid of Flash using the HTML5, they were hyping it about how, well, now you can restart. And so it was a feature, and they removed the feature, and then they said, well, it wasn't really a feature, it was a glitch. A glitch, yet you had the icon that showed a red door. Okay, I digress. So what happened is they gave information that it was going to be changing. They asked for input. We gave them pages and pages and pages of input, virtually all of it against this change. And they said, well, we can see this is important. We're going to give you, the company is going to be making an official statement here. I think it was like today, by the end of day. And then it was by tomorrow. And then it was by the end of the week. And then it was next week. And instead of actually giving us any information, they then just shut down the thread. Never gave us an official statement, just shut down the thread. So I don't really trust this. There are, 143 pages here? Not just comments, but pages of comments. I'm not reading this, but I'm guessing that virtually all of them are negative to this change. And it doesn't really, I'm sure it doesn't make a difference. So, yeah, I'm grumpy. Now, of course, King can do whatever they want. It's their game. And I get it. They need to make money. They make millions of dollars per day. I don't know that they need to make a whole bunch more. I mean, they make millions of dollars per day just on this game. So they want me now to buy unlimited lives, I guess. It's not going to happen. So a lot of people are leaving the game, and I would really like to see them make some good improvements. I would like to see them make things that encourage people to play more, not less. So a bit frustrating on that end. And also, I don't know how I'm going to be able to keep up with, just trying to get caught up with the levels I'm so far behind in, let alone all of the redos I manufacture for people who are stuck because King has changed earlier levels. I mean, I've been mired down in the lower levels for the longest time because of that. Yes, I'm venting. I'm sorry. Feel free to vent in the comments too. You will have an empathetic ear. So, but it is their game, and they can choose to do whatever they want to do with this, and there are still some benefits. They still give us a free game, and it's got some fun elements to it and some fun levels. I just don't like this change. All right, so now let's talk about maybe some ways to alter the experience. First, I'm going to talk about one that I do not condone. I do not recommend this, but I know a lot of people do it. I just want to say the only reason I don't recommend it is I know folks who have run into trouble with this, and I don't want that to happen to any of you. So, sometimes what people do is they go, it's just off screen, but there is my date and time on my computer, and if I right-click on my mouse, it allows me to adjust my date and time. And I can change it to tomorrow so I can get my 20 lives, plus the 5 in here. Or just 2.5 hours from now so I can get this filled. I can keep doing that. But let me tell you some of the problems that exist with it. Starting with some of the more major ones I've heard. I have heard of people who also do financial things on their devices and like automatic bill pay. So they have an auto bill pay set up for September 15th, and they change the date from, because they get, let's say they get paid on the 15th and then they send out all their bills on the 16th. So they auto adjust a week from now because they are really on a run and they're trying to, get more lives. And so, we're now at September 19th, and it's still September 12th, but they set the clock ahead to September 19th, and they play the game and everything's fine. And what happens is some of the software can go buggy, and bill pay will think that it's September 19th, and it will go and it will pay the bills before the employment check has come into the bank. And so you end up with overdrawn fees and big problems. So please, please, please be very careful. Understand your situation before you ever attempt anything like that. And then there are some other things that maybe are not as major, or maybe they are. I've heard of people who have missed appointments with their doctors, who have missed meetings with their bosses, and various other things because their schedule gets disrupted when they play around with the date and time feature. And even in game, if you've got events that you're playing, it could kind of eradicate your events. It could take away your boosters. It could take away your gold. It could affect a lot of different things in here. I've heard that it has for some people. And one of the biggest complaints, or one of the most prevalent complaints I've heard, is they'll get their lives and then they'll put the clock back to the right time, and it'll say they have to wait 1,000 hours for their next life, and it will never count down. And they keep playing with the date and time and go far out into the future, years into the future, and then back to today, and it still doesn't adjust. And so it's, in effect, broken. They can never get any more lives. For those people, I think that eventually things got resolved. Usually it's on a telephone. Yes, I'm 56 years old. I still call my cell phone a telephone, and it drives my son crazy. they will, I've referred people to like the Apple Store or, Samsung, whatever, wherever they have their phone, and ask if they can get help from where they bought their phone, or who manages, who owns the brand, so that they can get it adjusted. And since no one has reported back to me, presumably they got it resolved, but it was a lot of headache. These situations, these problems are least likely to occur for people who adjust the time, but then remember to adjust it back right away as soon as they're finished. But that doesn't mean that the problem couldn't happen. And so if you are going to use this avenue, first of all, I don't want you recommending in the comments that other people do it, because you might have a level of expertise with computers that other people do not. So if people are going to do this, they have to be comfortable with actually performing the function and willing to accept the consequences of the inherent risks. All right, now let me show you the method that I use. And I can do this because I play on my PC. And so I use a browser. I go through Facebook, as you can see, and I use Mozilla Firefox. But this is true of virtually all browsers, although I find Google Chrome, it's clunkier. There are a few extra steps you have to go through. But what I do is I come over to my menu here, and you can also do, I think, Control, well, we'll see. And I open up a new private window. Control-Shift-P would get me there too. Now notice this is a different window. It's all purple. If this were a regular browser tab, browser window, this would be a white background, but it's purple, and there's a purple mask here and a purple mask here. I am basically what Chrome would call incognito. So I am kind of hiding just a bit. This is not going to, please don't try to perform any illegal or illicit things and think you're going to be okay. Just don't do them at all. But don't think that a private browser is going to protect you. It's not. But it just doesn't collect as many cookies as this browser does. So this knows that I have, gotten 2 lives and I'm on the way of getting a 3rd life. But if I go to a new private browser, and I do have one open here, it doesn't know that I used up my lives. And so it's going to give me 5 full lives. And over here, it doesn't know that I used 20 for the day. So it's going to let me use them. Now notice that the stats are different here. This is why I say this is not an extremely elegant situation, because it can create some problems of its own. Sometimes I come here, you know what, these will keep going even after I close this. Sometimes I will come here and I won't have any gold and I won't have any boosters. Sometimes I won't have any events or the same events. Sometimes I won't have even the same level, but usually just coming up here, right-clicking, and reloading the tab will restore some things, or maybe just playing one level, or even just getting into a level and backing out. That can restore some things. But the other day, I had played a level on my regular browser, ran out of lives, came to my other browser, beat the level. I think it was the last Nightmarishly Hard that I did, 6310, beat the level over here, and then I went back to the other and it hadn't shown up that I had beaten it. So I refreshed my other screen and it didn't give me credit for it. And then I came back here and it didn't give me credit for it. So I had to beat the level again on both of the screens. Or no, just on my normal screen, on my regular screen. And then reload my incognito screen. It's hard to tell that it's even, when I'm switching back and forth, but that tells me I'm in incognito now. Or in private mode. So yeah, there can be glitches, there can be problems with it. There are certainly frustrations, but now I can continue playing level 6313 and I have now more lives. And here's another thing. I can also usually do the booster wheel again, and I can do the daily treat. And I can build up my boosters even further. And if I keep refreshing this, this is sometimes a really good way to get these extra boosters until they find this and correct it. But they it's been going on for years, and I've announced it years and years and years ago, and they've never changed it. So, and I'm not the only one, of course, who announces it. Oh, the daily trait machine, it does show that I still need to wait. So, but if I don't accept it on my other screen and I come over here, presumably I can keep doing this over and over. All right, so that's my information. That's my inelegant solution, my workaround to getting more lives when I'm stuck on a level. But if I'm working on a 30-minute free color bomb or striped wrapped and I come over here, it's probably not going to show up as, being available to me. So there are definitely limitations to this. And remember, if it doesn't show, oh, here's another thing. The events, sometimes my events will be completely empty until I actually play a turn. Even if I just jump in and I hit play and then I go ahead and I back out, I quit the level, I'm going to lose a life. Well, it doesn't matter. I've got unlimited lives if I do this. But then whatever events I had missing are going to repopulate. You can see even here, now we've got challenge a friend that popped up. So any missing events will often show up after I play a level. All right, that is it for me. Sorry this went on for so long, but if you do have any ideas, I have tried a boycott when they did the restart thing. It's really difficult to do because they have, over a billion downloads. And so I've got 63,000 subscribers. If I were able to encourage every single one of the subscribers that I have and talk to other YouTubers and we all presented a united front, it's not really going to do much. But maybe we could do a campaign. Maybe we say that on September 15th or, choose your date. We start advertising that this is the day where we are just going to flood King community with information, with requests to change this back, where we're just going to pick a date, target it, and just really blast them in their own home here. Maybe that is something that I can announce to everybody. If someone comes up with a detailed plan that sounds like it will work, I may try to announce it so that we can all work together. Will it change their minds? Probably not. And just so you know, it's very easy to sign up. I'm going to hit this. And it might give personal information, so I might have to blur things out. But it's very easy to sign up. You use, your email, your username, your password. You confirm the password. You say you're not a robot, and you sign up. Oh, you have to agree to the terms. And so you can always go ahead and create an account if you want to give them a message. I have a few messages I'd like to give them. All right, that is it for me. If you have any questions or comments, please, please, please put those below. I will try to read every single one of them. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Bye-bye.